It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, June 20th. Yup, we have made it to Thursday, otherwise known as Love Island is back on tonight. And you guys, if Love Island's ratings go through the roof, I'm going to take that personally, single handedly, as one of my biggest, greatest accomplishments ever because I believe that I am responsible from the DMs that I got from you guys yesterday saying, I would never watch this show, but I'll give it a shot. And yes, most of those DMs that came back and said, you don't understand the hold the show now has on me are in their 50s and above. So Love Island is for all people. And truthfully, I did feel the lack yesterday. I did. I felt the lack last night. I finished a puzzle yesterday. As you know, I'm a puzzle girly. And on my puzzle, this has never happened to me, not once ever. I had an extra piece. Now, I've missed pieces before in puzzles, which makes me crazy. It happens actually quite often. But I had an extra puzzle piece and I was doing the puzzle towards the end. You know, when you just have like 20 pieces left and they're all the same color and it's all about just trying different shapes and different this sounds sexual, but putting different shapes in different holes. And none of them had this one piece that I found looked very different than the others. It did. It had like a pathway in it. It wasn't just a green forest or a tree. I was so confused. I kept looking. I was like, something wrong with my eyesight. Sure enough, finished the puzzle and realized that it belonged where was already another piece. It was a double. Josh says an extra puzzle piece is good luck. And for that, I say, I'll take it. We can all use a little good luck every now and again. And lucky for you guys, we have a brand new episode today where we're going to talk all about Lisa Barlow and some money that she's owing. She's getting sued. We have a Jax Brittany story that is wild. I just saw it. Someone had a TikTok about it, and this guy's dirty, but they are flirting, those two. We have a sad death to report, plus some other stories about AI Gerry and more, all on today's, say it with me, Daily Dose of Donna. Welcome back. I woke up this morning and I was in a tizzy. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that was a devastating dream. I dream every night. I don't know about you guys, but I have a severe, dream every single night. It could be a happy dream. It could be a scary dream. It could be a sad dream. It could be an anxiety-filled dream, but it is so strong in my brain. What does that mean when you always dream every night? And it's like a very, very vivid dream. So last night, my dream involved my friend Kate Casey. And I texted her this morning about it because Kate Casey was on my shit list in my dream. Kate Casey. And maybe it's because I talked about this yesterday or the day before. I talked about the fact that she posted how she was getting all these negative reviews because she had John Fuda on her show. And so she was getting all these tree hugger negative reviews. But Kate Casey was in my dream telling me that she left me a negative podcast review. And I thought to myself, Kate, we have talked about this. We are in this together. She's like, that would never happen, she told me today over text. But that reminded me how important it is to leave a review. Those of you that have left nice 5-star reviews, I see them. I appreciate them. I just got one yesterday. I'll look at it. I also get some not so nice ones. But that's okay. You know, you can't be successful in life unless you got some haters. That is something I've learned. So I'm going to read my most recent 5-star review from Philly Girl 29. This was on Monday. I really love Donna's daily shows. She watches the same shows I do, and I appreciate her perspectives on what's going on. Okay, so Oh, I kind of want to read the bad review. Should I read the bad one just because it's next? Okay. This is from McTag2. The worst podcast ever. The problem with this review, I already can't take it seriously because it doesn't say the worst podcast ever. It says the worst podcast ever. WORSE. So we already know we have a grammar issue. Oh, this is the best. This is the best. This is the review says the worst podcast ever. Sorry, Donna, but your lack of knowledge and preparation for your show is infuriating. To not know the pronunciation of Martina Navratilova was just lazy. Guys, this happened. When was Miami on? 8 months ago? I mean, like so many months ago. Okay. Sorry that you're losing sleep over the fact that I didn't know the pronunciation of Martina and her, difficult to pronounce last name. Sorry. Okay. Google how to pronounce. It's a lifesaver. You should probably also Google how to spell worst. I'm just saying. The straw for me is when you asked, what is probation? That is just stupid. Like you have zero formal education. I am unfollowing and done. The show is so dumb. Donna is so stupid and this show is so frustrating. But whoever can listen to her for an hour, I wish you the best of luck. Guys, I wish you the best of luck for going through this really dumb and infuriating and stupid podcast for the next hour. I don't believe that I didn't know what probation was. I just didn't know what their probation was, but whatever. I digress. I have told you many times over, do not come to me for financial advice. Do not come to me for grammar and pronunciation. This is not an educational podcast. This is for fun. And you know what? The comments are the best. Debbie says, that's the worst. Notice she didn't put the T. Josh says, that's the worst review ever and spells it like a bratwurst. Yeah. You know what, McTag? You are the worst. Really the worst. I should. so stupid. It's part of the game. It really is part of the game. I have to laugh at these now because half of the time you think to yourself, like, who are these losers that are sitting there and taking time out of their day to write these long negative reviews over something? Just turn me off. I mean, I'd rather you turn me on, baby, but turn me off. Now, someone will come back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying this because what she does every day is she talks about people for a living. So she does. Yeah, it's my job. I got paid for this. I get paid to come onto these shows and to talk about the celebrities and to talk about the pop culture topics. Yes, it's a job. In fact, I get paid well. This is actually a really, really lucrative, amazing job, thankfully, because the dosers kick ass. Yep, that's you guys. You kick ass. So I will continue to, spread my stupid and dumb show. This is the stupid and dumb episode of Daily Dose of Donna, brought to you guys by my fave, Lola V. Lola V is the most incredible hair care, Hudson Award winning hair care line founded by the ever fabulous, ever iconic Jennifer Aniston. And no, Jennifer Aniston, she is not the worst. We have all put our hair through the ringer, coloring, heat styling, stress, aging, the list goes on. And now we've got the summer elements to battle too. We're talking about the sun, beach, and that ever-present humidity. Jen got tired of the damage and the struggle of having to choose between hair products that work and ones that are actually good for us. So she decided to create what she was looking for. I have a treat for you guys, my awesome listeners. For a limited time, you're going to get an exclusive 15% off on your entire order at lolav.com. Just use code Donna, that's DANA, at checkout. I mean, if you're taking hair care advice, why listen to anyone besides the woman who gave us the Rachel? So just remember, they have a lot of different products. Specifically, my favorites that I use every day are the shampoo and conditioner. I use the glossing detangler every single day because it detangles, primes, enhances shine, improves manageability, protects your hair from damage right before you blow dry it. I use Today I used the Perfecting Leave-In because I didn't have my oil that I usually use. So 15% off lolav.com with promo code Donna. Oh my gosh, this is so good. We're going to have new merch coming up. It's going to be only exclusively on dailydosepod.com/the store. It will be a sweater saying the worst podcast on the planet. I really feel like this is a must, right? Got to do it. Okay, we've got to get into our stories. First off, I want to, pay my respects to Donald Sutherland, who sadly just passed away. It just got announced this morning. Donald Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland's dad. That's kind of how I first knew of his last name was. I mean, he's Kiefer Sutherland's dad, but they call him Hunger Games actor in the Page Six article, but I know him from so many other things. Gosh, this bug is like the reviewer on the podcast app. Um, Donald Sutherland has died. The Hollywood icon who was known for his roles of President Snow in the Hunger Games film and Hawkeye Pierce on MASH. MASH was that show that it would come on every day, I wanna say, after Gilligan's Island. Was it before or after Gilligan's Island? I feel like we all had the same TV schedules when we were growing up, and I would watch, The Price is Right, Gilligan's Island, and then when MASH would come on, when I'd see the helicopter, I would turn it off. It just wasn't really my kinda show. Donald Sutherland wrote on Kiefer wrote on X, Twitter, "With a heavy heart, I tell you that my father, Donald Sutherland, has passed away. I personally think one of the most important actors in the history of film." I personally have to agree. He's so, legendary. His face is so legendary. Oh, he wasn't on the series. Thanks. Thanks, Chris. I've never seen the series. I mean, I know Alan Alda was on it because I always saw his name right at the beginning, and then I would turn it off. Um, the 57-year-old gushed that his late father was never daunted by a role, good, bad, or ugly. He loved what he did, and he did what he loved. And one can never ask for more than that, a life well lived. Hold on, let's think about that quote. That is such a beautiful quote. He loved what he did, and he did what he loved. May we all be that lucky, right? May we all be that lucky to love what you do and to do what you love. I love that quote. That's beautiful. Oh, yes. Okay, here's a picture of him playing Hawkeye Pierce in the 1970 film MASH. So the series was based on the film, right? That is okay. That's what it is. You guys, I was an 81 baby. So while I really did know a lot of the 80s culture and 90s culture, I don't remember perfectly some of these things, but just put it on the podcast review. She didn't know that Donald Sutherland was in the movie MASH and not in the series. She's the worst. Anyway, oh, did you know that Kiefer Sutherland has a twin sister named Rachel? Never knew. Huh. That's crazy. Wow, and he has 3 other sons. So he has Kiefer, Rachel, Rogue, Rossif, and Angus. What names? Interesting. Um, what a special man. Really, really cool. Unlike, the Howie Mandel story of the other day, I'm telling you right now, the Howie Mandel story has been haunting me. I keep seeing little clips of Howie Mandel talking about his wife in a pool of blood. I feel like it's coming and hitting me in the face. And you know what? Put Howie Mandel on the shit list of husbands and add him to, Justin Timberlake, Jax Taylor. We'll get into that in just a moment. Kyle Cook, Tom Sandoval, if he was a husband. Hasn't it been so nice to not see Tom Sandoval? I don't know about you guys, but I think because he was filming The Traitors, which I heard just wrapped, so it's no longer being filmed, so he'll be back. But I haven't seen any clips of him, any pictures of him. I saw some stuff of Billy Lee, but I haven't seen anything Tom Sandoval, and it's been a breath of fresh, or as Teresa Giudice would say, it's been a fresh of breath. It's been lovely. Let's move on to our next story. Did you guys see the Kyle Richards and Mauricio teamed up together to film, of course, because why would you ever do this? Not for the show. They filmed buying their 16-year-old brand. I don't even think she's 16 yet. I think they say in the video that she turned 16 in 1 month. Porsha, their daughter Porsha, who basically I feel like we grew up with on the show, they gifted her a Porsche. Porsche. I guess you can say Porsche. Do you say Porsche or Porsche? I've heard it both ways. This is the SUV version, and they had cameras there. They walked her outside of their house and showed her her new car. And she actually did look really happy. She didn't seem like snobby about it. She seemed really excited to get the car and actually genuinely surprised. And also, it was cute. The whole family was there. At least I saw Sophia, I saw Alexia, I saw Mauricio and Kyle. Good for them that they're able to still kind of do that co-parenting thing well for right now. We'll see how long that lasts. Now, a lot of people and a lot of comments were like, this is insane that you got her a Porsche. And while I do agree with that, because yes, I don't even know how much a car like that costs. I would imagine close to $100,000. I don't even know, maybe more. I grew up here in Los Angeles and I went to Beverly Hills High School. And while I was the Jewish girl that lived on the other side of the tracks, I was the Andrea Zuckerman of my high school. I remember seeing what kind of cars all the freshly turned 16-year-olds got. And when I tell you, every single one of these Beverly Hills kids got a car nicer than the last. The fact that my sister drove a Honda Civic and I drove a Jetta, I mean, I loved my Jetta and my sister loved her Civic, but we had the shit cars, right? And these were brand new cars. I think I had a used Jetta now that I think about it. I do remember getting a used Jetta. My sister got a brand new Honda Civic two-door. I'll never forget that black two-door Honda Civic. But the cars that these kids would get in the parking lot, Mercedes, BMW, Audis, like I don't even remember which were mostly it was Mercedes and BMWs, honestly. We went to school, Beverly Hills High School has 60, I think the last time I heard this, they have 60% Persian students, and lots of the Persian kids would all be driving their BMWs and Mercedes. This was like a thing. You even saw this on Shaws of Sunset. It was unreal. So I'm not shocked by that living here in Los Angeles. Now, I'll tell you, when my kids turn 16 or when they get a car, assuming they do their chores, I don't even know. How do you I can't even wrap my head around a third car payment, not even a fourth. What? And the insurance, breathe. He's only 11, breathe. But I would imagine, I think the perfect car, what's the perfect car for a brand new driver? I would say a Honda CRV. I loved my Honda CRV. I also had a Nissan Pathfinder. I had these were all used down the line. I had a Toyota 4Runner. I loved an SUV from the beginning. I wonder what our kids are gonna get when maybe the Volkswagen ones. What is it? The Tiguan or whatever. We'll see. Chris says Dylan will be driving your Tesla. Dylan will be not driving my Tesla. That Tesla will stay with me. I love it so much. The only issue with this car, and I'll tell you, it's easy to clean, but it's a pain in the ass because I have baseball kids. Well, I have one baseball kid. And what is this with sports kids that they're so dirty? Is this just it's supposed to happen? I don't remember Oliver being covered in dust every time I picked him up from baseball, but I'm gonna have to start bringing blankets in the car or sheets and wrapping them. He walks around, he's like the kid from uh, what's the Snoopy show? Oh my God, Charlie Brown, the dusty one. He's always walking around, he smells. Dust is just coming off his body. I swear that is literally what Oliver is after baseball practice. Anyway, good for Kyle Richards and their family. I mean, that is Pigpen. Oliver's my Pigpen. He doesn't smell bad, luckily. Well, yet. When puberty hits, what is going to happen to my house? I didn't choose to live with freaking all boys. Okay. I'm okay. Everything's okay, guys. Everything's okay. Let's move on to our next story. AI Gerry is once again the worst. AI Gerry has announced that he is getting hit on all the time by women in the DMs. Now, let me tell you right now. Listen to me, ladies, because I know you're watching. A lot of you guys are in Gary's age range, right? Like a lot of you guys are in 55 plus. Let me tell you, if I find out one of you are in Gary's DMs, you're out of here. You're out of here. Gerry, Gerry, Gerry. He says that 5 days after his and Teresa 6 days after Teresa's and his split was finalized, he says he's not ready to date. Yeah, right. He's ready to F around. We know Gerry. I can see Gerry with a 10-foot pole. I can tell. I can tell how dirty he is. You know how Danielle Cabral in the New Jersey trailer, I keep thinking of the way that she says this to Jenny. You're dirty. You're dirty. That's what Gerry is. Huh, lots of women are in my DMs. Lots of women I'm not ready to date, but lots of women are in my DMs. Can't you just see Gerry sitting there and DMing these women back? Let me tell you guys really fast something interesting on the side. This is like left turn. Last night I was looking for something to watch on TV. I'm rewatching season 5 of Summer House. This is the COVID season. It's really an season, but I want to get through it. I just want to kind of see the dynamics. This is the Why Aren't You Making Me Any Sandwiches? And the first season that Sierra joins. Um, so I was watching that a little bit, and then I was watching a couple of other random things, and right before bed I was laying and my kids came into my room. It was 9:30 at night. It was way too late for them to kind of be still hanging out with me, but I wanted to really watch this documentary, and it's called Ren Faire. It's on Max, HBO Max. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's episodic. I think it's only 3 episodes. It's done in a very cinematic way. It almost looks scripted when you first turn it on, like it's filmed very nicely. OMG. Whoa. When I tell you we may have to do a Patreon deep dive on this episode. Or in the show. This is wild. So there's a Renaissance fair town in Texas. I can't remember what the name of it is. I just watched like the first 25 minutes and then we turned it off. But it is like this man who created the Renaissance fair. They call him King George. He's like 85 years old. He's old and like decrepit old, right? His memory's like a little shot, but all he cares about is finding a woman. And literally, like his body is like dying on him. And he's like, I don't care until the day I die. I'm going to take Viagra and Cialis. I just always need to have an erection. Oh, my kids were in the room. I was like, yeah, I guess it's time to turn this one off. I thought for sure we were watching a PG friendly show called Ren Faire. Also, this man starts talking about the fact that he's dating online. But this is the craziest part. This is the craziest part. Can't you see Jeff Lewis doing something like this when he's older? He can't use the computer because he doesn't know how, right? Because he's 85 and he never learned how to use a computer. So he has a personal assistant, this young man who looks like he's in his maybe late 20s or something, who is his personal assistant solely because he online dates for him. Yes, swear this is true. He online dates for the old man. So he's sitting there and he's scrolling through. This man is on 15 dating sites. And the craziest part about it is that he's not even running his own account. Like the other kid is messaging for him. You know, want to meet at Olive Garden? He's on a sugar daddy site. He's a multimillionaire on a sugar daddy site. I can't. Okay. That was the tangent. This is not sponsored by Ren Faire. We're coming back. We're coming back. Plannersville, Texas, D. Taggart says, thank you so much. I will continue to watch it. Also, today on Hulu, the documentary of Sherry and Keith, the woman who faked her disappearance from a small town. I can't remember the name of the town, something with a D. And she faked her appearance and she said she was kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women, but it ended up being that she wasn't kidnapped by them and she just like ran away. So this is a story, a documentary told by her ex, Keith. And I cannot wait to watch that. So we'll watch that. Also, on the agenda for tonight, in case I haven't told you guys, tonight, Thursday, June 20th, will be our Patreon Zoom happy hour. Yes, we're doing it on a Thursday so that those of you that can never make it on a Friday, make it. So Thursday tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time. I can't remember if I decided 5 or 5:30. I'm gonna have to look. But right before Love Island, come and hang out with me, have a glass of wine, have a beverage, and let's hang out. Go on Patreon. The links are below to sign up. Let's move on to our next story. Jax and Brittany. Okay. Jax and Brittany have officially lost the plot, in my opinion. Why? When we last spoke to Jax and Brittany, on the Valley, we found out that Jax was King Douche, okay? There's King George at the Ren Fair, and then Jax is King Douche. He's the worst. I think he's worse than Tom Sandoval. I really do. I'm not joking. I really think he's worse than any of them. The way he speaks about himself, the way he speaks to his wife is just shocking. Now, we weren't blessed with a reunion. So all we have is just social media and, of course, the podcast. They have a podcast called When Reality Hits. Now, remember, over the weekend, I did post a couple pictures of them together in Huntington Beach celebrating Father's Day, and they very much looked like a couple. Well, they recorded this podcast, I want to say yesterday, because they talked about Justin Timberlake. And let me tell you, I I want to strangle myself. Like, I can't handle these two. So in this episode, there's a lot. Number one, I can't even put to words how many times Brittany giggles in her conversations. Now, this is something that really needs to be looked at. Okay. I'm not saying it's as important to get like your skin checked for cancer. Like, it's not as important, but I really do think she needs to figure this out. Why is he why is she laughing at every single thing she says or anyone says around her? It's really like it's a very strange nervous habit, I think. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, I went out there and like I got hammered." And she's like, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, can we get back to me, Brittany? I don't want to talk about you anymore." She's like, "You guys, that is not okay." I could never be friends with someone like that. I've had friends like this where you call them and you're like, "I am really struggling." And she's like, "You're gonna be okay." It's it's almost like we've got a bigger there's something going on there. Now, in this episode, they talked about their Father's Day weekend. Then they talked about the fact that, they went out the night before. He was getting hammered. She was saying that it was going to be his birthday. And he said, "I'm going to do it at Jax's." And she says, "Oh, I don't even know if I'm going to go." And he's like, "Here's what I want you to do." He says, "I want you to come and pop out of a cake no, she's like, "Maybe I should pop out of a cake and surprise you." And he goes, "As long as you're wearing short jean shorts with high heels and a tight white shirt." Huh? Then he says, "I hope we can have sex that night." It's diabolical. Then a couple minutes later, they were talking about Jesse and Michelle, how they were both at this premiere the night before, but Michelle had her new boyfriend there and Jesse was not with his new girlfriend, so it was kind of awkward. And Jax was saying like, "Yeah, it is a little weird. I mean, I can't wait to watch this on the next season of The Valley, but this may happen to us. Like, what if you're dating someone or if I'm dating someone?" And she's like, "I'm going to knock you out." Oh my god, it's maddening to listen to. It's actually maddening. Then, he's So basically in this one episode, he's like, it's so weird. Like, we don't really know what we're doing. We don't really know like who we are. We don't really know what we are as a couple, but it's so fun that we can just like be like this. And she's like, yeah, it totally is. This is why it's so confusing to me, because that's not a normal human interaction when you're going through like a severe potential breakup with your husband, the father of your child. Now, more importantly, we have a little bit of a situation. There is a TikToker, Steph with the Deets, who has posted a TikTok that has exposed Jax for sleeping with another woman in their shared marital bed that sometimes the baby crew sleeps in, because now we've seen pictures. And this woman has sent text messages between her and Jax to this TikToker. She has blocked out her name, but she has posted about it. So I'm going to play you this TikTok, and let me first pull it up. But I'm going to play it for you guys because I think it's actually really important to see for yourself so that you can trust that. Not to say that they weren't supposed to sleep with other people or hook up with other people, but I have a really hard time imagining that Brittany is okay with him sleeping with another woman in their shared bed, even though she's not there. Like, I don't know. There's something about like having your family bed. For me, if I sleep, like if Lance and I separated and I moved out, which probably would never happen, but if that happened, and then I found out, but like we were still trying to figure out what's next. And then I found out that he brought a woman to our home, to my bed. I mean, because you know what? That's not Jax. I'm pointing to my bed upstairs. That's not Jax's bed. That's Brittany's bed. Like, it's the woman's bed. Let's be real. I don't care if the man bought it, which I'm sure he didn't buy it alone. But like, the bed is ours. You know, we've all heard That Boy Is Mine by Brandy, but like, I'm going to re-sing it to like, that bed is mine. Like, I would be beyond, like, I wouldn't know how to handle it. That's like where my drawer is. You know, she has like still personal things in that nightstand where he's sleeping, where she's this new, okay. I'm getting carried away. This guy makes me insane. Let's watch this TikTok really fast from Steph with the Deets.
I've got some big exclusive news that has a lot to do with Mr. Jax Taylor, so you better get your popcorn ready. This is all alleged information. However, the person that reached out to me had receipts, and I gotta say, I 1000% believe them. Remember when Jax had tweeted, "You may want to ask Brittany who she's been sleeping with for the past 4 months," and then tried to insinuate that she had been sleeping in his bed when he posted this photo after that tweet? Well, we may want to ask Jax Taylor who he's been sleeping with the past 4 months, and I've got an answer for you. But also keep in mind, the past few months, Jax has also tweeted, "I'm not dating anyone, and I wish you all knew the full story of this situation. It's not what you think." And he had tweeted that after being seen with Paige, that IG model.
He's
also
a
saying,
liar.
"Just to know I have done nothing wrong." Oh, just wait for it. And lastly, he has been telling people that he and Brittany are working on things. So I received a message from a woman that would like to remain anonymous, and it said, "So I'm a little hesitant to write this because I'm not sure if I want to out myself on this, but I have a lot of info on Jax being with other girls during April and have receipts and everything. Basically, from what I know, Jax liked something on IG about winning her back, meaning Brittany, on the day of his son's birthday party or something. I was in the man's bed the night before that birthday party. I have a picture of myself in his bed, and I have texts of us talking about it." Okay, and the text messages
Guys,
that
get
she
ready.
did send over. So these are from April 12th. She's telling him that she's leaving now, and he tells her to come through the gate. "Is this too soon?" She says, laugh out loud, "No.
The
I
next morning.
smell of you all over me," he tells her. She says, "You're welcome, but also ditto." And then he tells her, "All I can think about is eating your butt."
Guys.
And she says, "That's the thing you can't stop thinking about. It just tastes so good," he says, "and those toes." Yep, that is Jax Taylor. If you know, If you watch the show, I'm saying, you know. She says they're the best, aren't they? Did you die today? I slept for 7 years.
I'm going to stop it there because it's kind of pointless to go on, but she sends a picture of herself, this girl, to Steph, the TikTok creator, and it's in Jax's bed. And you know that because when you see any other footage or picture of Jax's room, you see this kind of like a ladder. I have one here. Okay, I'm not gonna like break my wall. But, like a ladder decoration where you can like hang things on top of it, and there's pictures of Cruz right next to the bed. So she sends a selfie from of herself in Jax's bed. Okay. Is Jax allowed to hook up with other people? Sure. I imagine if they separated, maybe they had that conversation where he's allowed to. I have no idea. But there is something, this is a line that should not be crossed, and that's the one coming into the home. Like, fine, if you want, I guess, like, go into the guest room. I don't even know. Like, there's something about the bed. How can Brittany ever go back to that bed now? Ever? I mean, she probably could. But how could any, like, human want to ever sleep in that bed again? Now, in this podcast, I also listened to something interesting. We all know Jax is a serial cheater and liar, right? That Boy's a Liar was really written for Jax. We know this. We've seen this unfold on so many seasons of Vanderpump Rules. And then, of course, on the Valley, too. He went on a podcast more recently in the last couple of years and talked about the fact that she had a stroke. And Brittany was like, I never had a stroke. Like, why are you saying that? It's a lie. So there's a lot of these things that keep happening. In this podcast episode, they talk about the fact that they talk about when he got arrested in Hawaii on their cast trip years ago on season 4 of Vanderpump Rules, if you remember, because he stole a pair of sunglasses. Well, Brittany was going through the whole story of that day. And I don't remember this at all because I don't think cameras were there to film the whole thing. But I guess on that day, they went to a booze cruise, Brittany and Jax. Like, I guess cameras had gone down already, but people, like some of the cast had stayed in Hawaii for a couple extra days. So the cameras went down. By the way, she has just started dating Jax. She doesn't know the friends that well. Like, she's not close with anyone. Season 4, this was her first season on the show. They go to a booze cruise. Then they go to Duke's, which if you know Oahu, Waikiki, it's like right there in the middle of the beach area. They're sitting there and they're about to go on another booze cruise, which is just wild. I can't even wrap my head around 2 booze cruises in one day, but I digress. And while they're sitting there, she says like, oh, I don't have my sunglasses. So Jax gets up, goes across the street to the mall. And in Oahu, Waikiki, it literally is like all these fancy stores are right there. Goes right across the street, goes into, gets a wad of cash from the ATM. Why he wouldn't just pay with a credit card, confusing. Okay, whatever. Walks into Tiffany's, and this is all on camera on the security footage, and stands in line and realizes the line is really long and they have to get on their second booze cruise, and just grabs the Tiffany sunglasses and leaves. Okay. He then walks back to Brittany, who's sitting at Duke's, I'm pretty sure, something like that, and gives them to her. And she's so excited. She's sending selfies to her mom, right? She's like all excited about the fact that she's wearing these sunglasses. And then like a few minutes later, he gets arrested. Police come in and arrest him. And she has no idea. And the only thing he says to her when he's getting arrested is like, don't tell anyone. Okay. This is the beginning of your relationship with this man. This doesn't include Faith and Rotten Hale. This doesn't include all the other million bad things that this guy does. He's a loser. He's an absolute loser. And then he also they talked about college on this podcast. And they were saying like, is it important to go to college? And Jax is like, no, I don't think you have to go to college unless you're a doctor or like you need a specialized degree. He's like, listen, I got my associate's degree. I lasted 3 years in college. And the second he said it, he said, no, that's a lie. I didn't. Like he catches himself in lies. I think he is a natural liar. Like the first go-to out of his mouth is a lie. And then he can like, oh shit, that was a lie. That's not true. I didn't get my associate's degree. I was trying to get my associate's degree. But his first go-to is saying, I got an associate's degree. And if he wasn't on that podcast and he was at a bar just talking to someone, he would have kept the story. He wouldn't have said, oh, that's a lie. Like the only reason he said that's a lie is because he knows that he's on his podcast and people can catch him in his lies. You guys, it's bad. Can't wait to see next season, The Valley. Am I right? Okay. I would rather be single forever than be with Jax, is my final feeling on that man. Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow has been sued for apparently unpaid loans, $410,000 in unpaid loans. This happened basically, TMZ reported yesterday, Wednesday, June 19th, that Bert Carlson, who is a former friend, filed a lawsuit against Lisa Barlow and her businesses, Vita Tequila and Lux Marketing, claiming that she owes him exactly, are you guys ready? $410,000, 842 and 36 cents in money that he paid during the period between May 2010 and February 2018. Carlson told the outlet that Barlow had first sought his financial help to cover business expenses in 2010, but that given their friendship, they did not address a schedule for repayment. Big mistake. Big mistake. Now, shortly after this report surfaced and all the memes went crazy and people thought, Lisa Barlow is going to call her attorney friend, her judge, just someone because she's going to freak out that, like, John, we have to call our people. John, I don't love it. She has now come back to say Bart Carlson was once a business partner in a restaurant in Park City, and I thought a friend. Her message read, I'm deeply saddened that he has decided 9 years after our restaurant business ceased to claim that I owe him money. To be very clear, the claim that I owe Bart or his company money is untrue. I pay my bills and obligations, and I always have. In addition, Bart has no interest in Lux Marketing or Vita Tequila and did not invest in either business. I look forward to the truth coming out, and I intend to hold Bart fully accountable for any damage this personal attack may cause me or my business. They are returning in September for a 5th season of Salt Lake City. I think they already wrapped production. All I can say about this is I have some weird gut feeling that Lisa Barlow is right in this case. I wouldn't say that about a lot of other people on these shows, but for whatever reason, maybe it's John, maybe it's Fudge College. It's like someone in that home has got their shit together. And maybe I'm wrong. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. Crazier things have happened. Tell me Teresa did this. Tell me, thank you, Siri. Tell me Fudas did this. Tell me, basically anyone on Jersey did this. But for some reason, I actually believe Lisa Barlow. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to see. Lisa versus Bert. Leslie is asking, has anyone ever seen her alcohol in stores? I've never, ever seen Vita Tequila in stores. But I can't really remember the last time I went and went down the aisle of tequila and really tried to find it. Tequila is one of those things that I feel like we always just have in our house. So I don't remember, but I feel like people bring tequila a lot. Lalo tequila is my spot right now. If I'm going to have a margarita, I want a Lalo margarita. I'm not specific really, but if I'm at a friend's house and they have Lalo, try it. No, I have not seen Vita Tequila in stores. I have not seen so many of these alcohols in stores. I really haven't. I don't think that they really exist. I think that we're living in some sort of Barbie dream house of housewives products. I would like to go to a housewives department store. So Netflix, I read this yesterday, that Netflix is basically renting out spaces in malls, in certain big malls, in the Prussia Mall, I think it was one of them, and big old department store areas. So Macy's that are no longer there or whatever. And they're renting it out and they're taking them over and they're creating Netflix worlds. So essentially you go in there and you experience real life experiences based on these Netflix shows. And I thought it was genius. I was like, this is a Netflix, it's like Netflix world instead of Disneyland, right? It's attractions based on the shows. So you'll have a Stranger Things situation. I hope you have a Love Island situation and a Love is Blind. You can go into a pod, whatever it is. I love the idea. So why don't we? I know BravoCon kind of pretends to do something like this, but I want a store. I want a department store. It can be an old Bed Bath and Beyond. where you go in there and all you can buy are Bravo products. It would make a killing. I mean, there would be 3 of everything because I think that's, like, all there are, but we would have Yummy Tummy Spanx in there. We would have Sonia's Toasters. We would definitely have Pinot Grigio, Ramona's Pinot Grigio. What was it called? Oh, how about Ramona's True Faith jewelry? For sure. We would have, any and every we would have Kathy's cheesecakes. Remember Kathy was like a baker for a little bit over on Jersey? I think it's a great idea. The problem is you'd actually have to create these products, and I don't think they're in creation anymore. Like, I think you buy them at Marshall's and that's it. There's, like, 2 left. They're rarities. Oh, we would have beer cheese for sure. We would have oh my gosh, there's so much that can be sold. Andy, call me, babe. Call me. All right, you guys. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Are you joining us on Patreon for the happy hour tonight? I really hope you do. If you can just sign up for the overdose tier, check it out, see if you like it for a little bit. And then and that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, love beans. Bye.